Our topic today will be about something that is not rare, and to be honest, it happens quite often. Artists we already know who are not in any band or who are in a band but want to start a side project. How many times do we see these musicians start a new band and within a short time, sometimes less than a year, they disband? I saw this discussion on Reddit and decided to bring it into a video and hear your opinions. So let's start a video.
This is what is called black hole, you know.
Well, the post was, why do groups in the Japanese music industry tend to disband so often? Doesn't matter the genre, whether it's pop or rock. This happens so often in the Japanese music industry. Why is that? Well, my opinion is that this is not something that only happens in Japan. Although we see this happen with a certain frequency, it is something that generally happens worldwide in the music industry. The first comment was, my uneducated guess is that rather than disbanding more often than groups in other countries, it's just that they're really good at keeping track of groups that are very, very indie, so that when you go check the history of any group member, there's this whole resume-like timeline with 3 previous groups that only lasted half a year. It makes sense since, as an aspiring musician, you're willing to get into any group so you can get experience regardless of what type of music you actually aspire to play. Then, as you get acquainted with the local scene or start smaller tours, you meet musicians from other bands, and some of them might have more compatible musical taste to you. Well, that makes sense with young artists. They join some bands and projects, gain experience, but at a certain point in their journey, they meet new people and other projects that better fit their interests in music. Another person said, I don't think it's any more or less common than anywhere else. Well, like I said, I don't think this is something that only happens in Japan. This person said, a lot of groups start, but it's very difficult to become successful enough, and even more difficult to sustain that success so you can make a good living. A band like babymetal became very successful 10 years ago, and they have kept going strong since then. Another comment says, so how? Many of the bands I listened to have been active for ages. Then he gave some examples, such as Band-Maid, Scandal, One OK Rock, Love Bites, The Oral Cigarettes, Men with a Mission, and more. Another person said, there are lots of underground indie bands all around the world that never become successful and stay that way for decades or have to be disbanded so their members can follow their own paths. So yes, it's common, but not specifically for Japan. This person said, Japan is still a fairly insular market compared to global. Plus, there's probably a lot more groups that's jammed and disband more often than people are able to report. I'm honestly quite surprised some groups and bands in Japan and worldwide have stuck together and continue performing for so long.
A member of a Japanese girl band has shaved her head
because of the fact that she's a 20-year-old and she had the audacity to have relations with a man.
I think it's just a bit too much.
Well, this is an interesting topic, and as we can see, people have different opinions about it. But I would like to know your opinion on this topic. If you would like to see more about bands that disbanded, I have a video here on the channel that I posted 3 months ago. I will leave the link in the description so you can watch the video and read some comments on that video to get a better idea about all these incredible Japanese bands that disbanded or went on hiatus over the years. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.
what they call the black hole, you know?